Mother has been on a hiatus. I have had to have a couple of surgical procedures recently, and I just needed time to recover and recuperate. But Mother is fine and doing well. Oh my word, I have missed you so, and I am back live and in living color. And guess what? On their way over here right now are the Huckleberries. You remember them? They came and got my swarm of bees that were in my yard. Well, guess what? My bees have made honey. I'm so excited. I can't wait. They're on their way. And when they get here, we're going to sit down and talk about the honey making process. I can't wait. Oh, there's them. Oh, here they come. Oh, them. It's the Huckleberries. Oh, come on in. Come on in. How are you doing?
We're good.
I'm so good to see you. I can't wait. Oh, look at my honey from my honeybees. Oh, my goodness. This is so exciting. Oh, my goodness. It is so lovely to have the Huckleberries here with me all the way from Glen Carbon, Illinois. I have to ask, so how did you get started in the beekeeping industry?
Well, he retired, and about a year into it, he was looking for something else to do.
Okay.
And he says to me one day, "What do you think about me getting some bees?" And I thought, never
She thought I was
thought
crazy.
I bet.
that would be a request. But I'm like, well, honey, that's whatever you want to do. That's fine with me.
You thought I was
Crazy.
And when did you get started?
We got our first set of bees in 2015, and they didn't make it.
Okay.
And so then we got a second set of bees in 2016 after we went to a class on beekeeping. And he had me go along with him so I could absorb some information as well. And we had those two that we kept in 2016, and the first year they usually don't get any honey out of a new colony. And so in 2017 would have been the first year that we had honey. And in 2017 we got our name on a swarm list, and we got calls from people like you called us to come pick up some bees that were in their yard.
Okay.
And at the end of 2017 we had grown our apiary from 2 hives to 5.
How many bees are actually in a hive?
A lot. So
run 30 to 50,000.
Wow.
per hive.
And the one that we got from you, that queen laid all the way up into the supers. I mean, and it was just full of bees.
There's probably more like 70,000.
There was
bees
a
in that
lot
one.
of bees in there. And I don't disturb them too much because every time I do, they get angry. They're angry bees.
So how does it work once you get that swarm of bees from a person's yard?
So the way that it works is when we picked up the bees from your yard, we put them in a little box, and when we took them back to our property, we put them in a bigger box because there was a lot, and then they filled up that box,
Quickly.
and then we put another box on top. So the first box that you have is called the brood box, and they'll fill up that with honeycomb, and the queen will start laying in there, and that's the bee production capacity. The second box that we give them is for food storage, and they'll begin to store up food, and sometimes the queen will go up and lay in that second box too when she runs out of room, and then when the bees emerge from the lower part, she'll go back down there and lay, and so it becomes a cycle, and they'll have eggs and brood in the middle, and they'll have their honey on the outside. When that second box gets pulled up, they have enough to sustain themselves, and we put a third box on top to harvest the honey from, and we can take that. So we make sure that all of the bees have everything they need to survive the winter, and then we only take their excess because they'll just keep making honey because that's what they do.
What happens to the bees during the winter months?
So in the winter months, there's something that has to happen before that. So as the days get shorter and the nights get longer and the food supply dries up, the queen understands that that's her signal to quit laying so many bees. And so she'll quit laying bees. And then the bees that forage, that means they go out and collect nectar and pollen, they'll come back with nothing. so there'll be no more food. So all they have is the food that's left in the hive, and that's their signal to quit foraging. So there's nothing to forage, and there's an altruism in the bee community where if there's no job for you to do, they fly off. So the foragers fly off and
Never
die and never return. And so
But
that
first, they kick all the males out.
So all the foragers are females.
so all of the
All the
worker
workers.
bees, all
Of any
the
kind of
worker
work.
bees.
How it works?
So
Yeah.
it's the female bees or the worker bees. The drones are only there to provide reproductive services to the queen.
How does the male get chosen by the queen?
She takes a lot of males.
Oh, so she's one of
She goes out on her mating flight. She goes to a place where all the males are around,
Uh-huh.
and she takes
several.
until she
Suitors.
fills up. Until she fills up,
Oh.
and then she goes back and she never leaves the hive again.
Oh, so she's a hawk.
The process is that the queen will emerge. So when the new queen emerges, when she's a virgin queen, she looks different from the other bees, and you can tell the queen because she has an elongated body. And the difference between a regular female worker bee and a queen is that she has this extra chamber. It's called a spermatra, and that's where she stores up all of that sperm from the drones. So she'll emerge from her cell, and she'll spend a few days kind of getting her legs all dried out, her wings all dried out, and then she'll emerge a little bit from the hive, and she'll take a couple of orienting flights to kind of get her bearings so she knows how to make it back to the hive. And then she'll take her maiden flight, and what she'll do is she'll fly straight up into the air, and she'll shake her tail and emit a pheromone,
Sure.
and that will attract the drones in the area. And she will mate with about 30 or 40 drones.
My job is easy. I'm kind of like the males of the bees. And I
I was
I
going to
don't do
ask,
much work.
what do you do?
The thing I contribute is I make mead out of honey.
So what is mead?
It's a fermented beverage. It's actually the oldest fermented beverage on the planet. The Vikings made it because what they had was honey.
Oh, wow.
And
So you ferment the honey and water and yeast,
Sure.
and
converts
you can
the
put
sugar
other
to
things
alcohol.
in there. Yeah, that makes the sugar into alcohol. And typically you want to put a nutrient in with it, some different nutrients. And I've experimented. I made some jalapeno mead that was so good. I
That
love
sounds
it.
delicious.
Well,
I'm
I-
a spicy girl.
Well,
Are there any medicinal properties to the bee sting?
well, that's an interesting thing. This finger here, I had some arthritis on this finger, really bad arthritis. And I went to the doctor, and the doctor, did different things, and they gave me they took pictures of it and gave me some ointment to put on it. They gave me some steroids. Nothing helped it. And then one day I was working with the bees, and I got stung on this arm, and it swelled up. It swells up because it says, hey, I need some white blood cells over here right away. And so you get the white blood cells in there, and that repaired the damage. But that was the only thing that fixed that finger.
Wow.
So
We belong to a Beekeepers Association, and they have a record of their very first meeting, which was over 100 years ago. And so one of the things that is recorded in their very first meeting that they do is they will go out and inspect somebody's hives so that they can, talk about points for education or whatever.
share information.
And so it was recorded that they went out to inspect the hives and no one got stung except this one gentleman who wanted
was
to
a
get
doctor.
stung for his rheumatism.
Yeah. He was a doctor. He got stung on purpose for his rheumatism.
So what advice do you have for us mere mortals when it comes to bees and the environment?
Just love the bees because the bees are, if the bees die, we die.
So there you have it, my loved ones. It has been so awesome to be with you again today. I got my honey from my honeybees, and she made me some lip balm from the bees wax. Where is my Deacon Cleophas? You want some of this? Mwah! So I love you. And next, we're going to have a recipe where I use some of this honey for dinner.